So I started Bar for Success because honestly, I wasn't a good employee. I worked at a local big hospital, university system as a physical therapist when I came out, and seeing 20 plus people a day, 15-minute appointments, and it basically got to a point where I had a patient who needed aquatic therapy, and so there was somebody across town who was been doing aquatic therapy for 20 years or something. They were by far and away the person to go to. So I referred this patient to that clinician. And my manager told me, hey, you can't do that. You got to see the person yourself. If you refer out, basically, you're going to get written up for insubordination. And I thought that was BS. So I did what was in the best interest of the patient, sent them over to the expert. And lo and behold, I came in the next couple of days or whatever, and called in the office. He's there with a paper that he wants me to sign for insubordination. I'm 25, 26 at this time. So I signed it. It was the end of my day. So I leave. I got in my car, got maybe a half mile down the road, and I don't know what got into me. I ripped a U-turn, flew back, didn't even park in a spot, just parked in the front of the building, walked right in. He was still sitting there. I took the contract, or signing the agreement that I was insubordinate. I ripped it up, dropped it on his lap, and went home and told my wife, hey, Laura, I don't think I'm a good employee. I think I need to do my own thing. And so that was kind of the impetus for me to be, from an entrepreneurial side. And then at that point I had caught in the golf bug, and really what I wanted to do was try to see if I could mirror my strength and conditioning and my physical therapy backgrounds with golf. And there was nobody doing it in the area. And so, basically I went out and just talking to every golfer that I could and just wanting to see if I could help them. I honestly didn't think it would work in the beginning, which really is the genesis of the data-backed, P4S way, that, I didn't want to go to sleep unless I knew that I had helped people. So the only way that I knew how at that point was, well, I got to test them in the beginning, try something, and then we're going to test again. And if it worked, then I know I helped them, and I know I'm going to sleep well. And that was really how Par for Success, or P4S Golf, started, was because I wasn't a good employee. I truly believe in doing what's in the best interest of the person that you're working with. And I truly believe that you should only do things or get paid for things if you're actually delivering a result. And I think those started as kind of some core tenets that I had personally. And those to this day are some of the core values of P4S Golf. So the official mission that everyone at every staff meeting recites, that we always remind ourselves, is to basically be the best in the world at giving golfers longevity in the game, so they can play the game at as high of a level as possible for as long as possible. And and there's 5 core tenets of the way that we make that happen, and then we want to do that with the speed of Amazon, and then the service of in Augusta. So basically trying to assure that we can come up with guaranteed ways for golfers, if they just do what we ask them to do, to play this game as long as humanly possible. And the only way that's going to happen is if we keep it fun. So, losing tons of distance, being in pain, not having the skill set to play, those are all things that take away fun. And so everything that we do is trying to use science and data and physiology to try to control for everything that can take away that fun from a golfer. And whether that's a high schooler trying to add distance so they can play in college, a college player trying to stay healthy as they try to make it onto tour, and the grind that comes with that, teaching them how to deal with being on the road, all that sort of thing. Or if it's for that 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, we have 90-year-olds who are just trying to extend their golf life, just to play until they say they're done, not when Father Time wants to tell them. That's the mission. The mission is to keep people playing the game as long as possible, at as high of a level as possible. And the key to that is keeping them healthy so that it's actually still fun. So it's funny. So back, this is probably a decade ago, I went to a conference and somebody asked me, it was kind of like a business conference, and there was a group and they gave me a black piece of construction paper and they said, hey, what do you want Par for Success to be? You need to draw it. I suck at drawing, so it wasn't anything elaborate, but I took a yellow, I got a crayon, or actually it was a colored pencil, and I drew a gold brick and I colored it in. Actually, from my old art days, was able to make it somewhat three-dimensional. I was pretty proud of myself. But the instructor came around. They said, "Oh, you want to make a lot of money?" And I said, "No." She said, "Well, you drew a gold brick." I said, "Yeah." I said, "My vision or my ultimate goal is that P4S Golf is the gold standard when it comes to golf fitness and physical therapy and performance." And I think that's what we've tried to do in every facet, not just in the science and research that we do to help golfers, but also in the workplace environment. Can we make it the best place to work as possible for all of our team members? I always tell all of our team members, one of our core values is know your role, do your job. Our job is, what everybody would think, to help golfers play longer, all that, stuff that, we get paid to do, right? That people come to us so they can fix their pain, hit the ball farther, play the game longer, those sorts of things. The real reason why we're doing this, in my opinion, is I want to change the way that physical therapy is done. I don't want it to be, I don't believe it's right that a single therapist should have to see 20 people in a day. It's not right for the therapist. It's not right for the patient. Definitely not right for the patient. They're not getting the best quality of care. The physical therapist, no matter how good they are, isn't going to be able to provide that. But that's just the nature of the insurance industry that they're in. So trying to show and build in a way in the physical therapy side where a therapist can see 7, 8 patients in a day. A patient can see the same exact person every single time for an hour, and they can get better quicker and do it in a way that ultimately is cheaper for them. That's the goal. For the fitness side, not just going somewhere to exercise, but having a plan, being retested, holding our fitness side of our services to the same standard that you'd hold a medical provider. Or is there documentation? Can you prove that they've actually gotten better? And that's where all the data side comes through. And then, that's, to me, is the vision, is to be the gold standard, to be the, obviously for all of the services, but then also I think for our coaches, particularly on the virtual side of things, we're some of the first people to do this the way that we are remotely, and reframing for the students who are thinking about becoming a personal trainer or thinking about becoming a physical therapist, that there's a whole nother way to do it. You can do it online, you can do it remotely, and we are showing that you can get the same results remotely or online that you do in person. And that's wild. And so ultimately the vision is that when someone says, hey, do you work out for golf, is that eventually it becomes, hey, do you P4S? I'm most proud of the integrity that we have done this with. I'm most proud of the people that I've gotten to work with and seeing them grow. I'd say in the beginning, I was proud, as I was doing a lot of the therapy and the training, I was the most proud of my athletes. I was the most proud of people. I had a client, Gary, he's a friend now, but he showed up after a cancer treatment and wasn't able to walk. His legs didn't work. Well, you asked me that day when I was a year later, when he walked into the doctor's office with nothing, no crutches, anything, and was able to look the doctor eye to eye and say, hey, I'm walking now, and you told me I'd never walk again. And not only am I walking, but I'm also can swing the golf club and play. That would be a moment that I would be the most proud of early on. As we've grown, I think what I've been the most proud of today is that we're able to do that to thousands of people, and it's not me that's doing it, it's my team. And I think the culture of accountability, owning our outcomes, doing it for a bigger purpose, and just having a group of people who care about getting better every single day, and being able to work in that environment, I think that's probably what I'm the most proud of, but definitely what I'm the most grateful for. So I think there's two answers to that. I think these are two situations. If somebody has never tried it, yes, a year ago was probably the best time to do it. The next best time is today. Especially with what we do, and this is what I'm really proud about, is we guarantee everything we do. And if you're going to try it with somebody who guarantees it. Like, there's literally no risk. Like, if it doesn't work out, then like at this point, it's just you didn't do the work because we have it so dialed in at this point. So if you've never done it, that's my answer, is do it with somebody who will guarantee you the results. Just like if you're going to build a house, build your house with someone who guarantees it's going to be done the right way you want it to be done. I think if you've had a bad experience before, you've done golf fitness before and it hasn't worked, I just don't think you've actually done the right stuff. Either you didn't stick with it because you didn't have the accountability, you didn't have the right programming, so maybe you stuck with it, but the programming wasn't correct for you. So, the assessment that was done wasn't well done, and the programming didn't match that. Or you didn't test and retest to see if you were actually getting better, where you were getting better, where you weren't. I think it's one of those three things for everybody. Either you didn't do it or you weren't provided the accountability. If you didn't do it and you needed the accountability, you maybe just didn't do a program that gave you accountability. If you didn't see results, did you test results? If you weren't testing, then how do you know if it worked or didn't work? But then ultimately, your programming has to match what your testing says. And then there needs to be a retesting. And ultimately, I would just say, anybody watching this, you've probably dated somebody in the past that didn't work out, but it didn't stop you from dating again or finding your spouse that you're with now. So don't let a single or a couple other prior bad experiences like stop you from, or basically don't let a bad experience drive future failure, because now it doesn't just burn you that once, it burns you from starting and trying something that's actually going to work. And if you've been burned before, then even more reason to go with the program that actually is going to guarantee you the results, because then there is no question if it's going to work or not.